Here we have the result returned by the chat with an AI system connected to an MCP tool, which is in turn connected to a database that processes information, in this case about the I90 files from Red Electrica, which give us information about the operation of the programming units in the Spanish electrical system across each of the programs and markets. How do you install this tool so that you too can interact with the data through an AI that does the analysis alongside you, so you don't have to code the analytical part of how data is filtered, how it's grouped, but instead, with your knowledge of the sector, you just ask the chat specifically what you want. In this case, we can see here the curtailment, which is the energy that, due to technical constraints, isn't consumed in the market after each company has submitted its auction bid for the electricity market. In other words, this is a coefficient that hurts the companies bidding their energy because they can't profit from it due to technical constraints, usually because of grid capacity limitations. It goes unused. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to install this tool from scratch step by step. The first thing you need to do is go to Datons.com, and here we go to Applications, ESIOS Data, and here we go to Applications, ESIOS Data, the documentation, and at the bottom you'll see the base URL that we'll use to connect to Claude.ai. We open it, and here on the plus button we say that we want connectors that we need to manage, and here we'll see already connected the one we have for the I90s, but we're going to disconnect it to do the test from scratch. I'll delete it, and now this is what you would find here. So you click the plus button, add custom connector, give it a name, for example ESIOS I90, and enter the URL ending with MCP because that's the technology we use. Now we have ESIOS I90 here, and we connect to it. We click on connect. It takes you to the Datons.com application. To validate your user, you can register for free. We continue with Google. And here it will ask you to authorize the application. You click allow, and automatically after a few seconds it will take you back to the Claude Codes application. It will take you back to the Claude application with the tool already installed. It will probably show up here as always requiring approval, although in this case you could set it to always allow. Anyway, we'll leave it there to test now in a new chat any other question, like for example, what are the best units in the PDBF program? And automatically the chat detects units, tries to associate it with one of the tools it has loaded, which in this case, in the connectors, is ESIOS I90, which has information inside that it already relates to units and programs from Red Electrica, so it links it here. We click always allow, and here it will first search for what PDBF is, get some results, then it will look elsewhere for the metadata, and here comes all the information about columns, descriptions, categories, and so on. And with that information, the chat will now execute a query against the database where all that information is normalized and properly classified. And here you can see it's now going to rank the best units from PDBF in 2025. And here it shows us by units and company. The best is Duero, which is a hydroelectric plant, followed by Almaraz, Cofrentes, then Almaraz 2, which is another nuclear plant, almost all nuclear, followed mainly by hydroelectric. Then we have pumped storage and many other technologies that keep appearing. Here, the chat itself gives us an analysis of each one of them. So now you know, if you want an AI to do the heavy lifting of querying the information, checking how the programs are doing, digging through the data after a request that doesn't return good results, and you have to redo with more precision all that tedious work with natural language, just asking the chat questions. It does it for you with total ease. So now you know the instructions, any questions you have,